Yeah, son. Good evening, everyone. We have Pulkit Agrawal here with us. He has taken part in GSOC at Opia Foundation for the GSOC 2020, and he's a mentor at Coding Blocks, and he's a very active open source contributor. I hand the stage to him.
Thank you for the introduction. So, hey everyone, my name is Pulkit. So today we'll be talking about open source, GitHub, and a lot of other things that you might be interested in. So, first of all, let's say everyone is there. So, how do we start? Like, what do we have to start with? So, I think we have to start with Git and GitHub. Okay, so just tell me how many of you do know about Git or GitHub, or like how does Git works, or what is the version control system, or anything like how many of you do know about that? Okay.
Yeah, we can start with Git and GitHub. Or
No, actually, I was waiting for. Okay, so Sushil, I have not shared anything as of now, so I'll be sharing my screen soon. There's no PPT or something like that. I don't believe in PPT or like things like that. I believe in actual code or actual thing that we do. This screen is not clear. There's something wrong with my screen. Is there something wrong with my screen or the display? Okay. Uh, Hello. Oh, cool. So yeah. So as you know, my name is Pulkit Agarwal, and today I'll be talking about open source uh, things. Okay. So first of all, when you talk about the open source community or the open source contribution, you have to learn about one thing that is called Git or GitHub, as you would know. So how many of you do know about Git slash GitHub? Like, do you have an account on GitHub, or do you know how to use that? Something like that. Do you know anything about GitHub? Like, just say yes or no in the chat. I have account. Okay. So people do know about GitHub, or they have an account on GitHub. So that's great. So okay, so let's go to GitHub first and like see it out. What is that? So just share the screen. So um, just a second. Okay. Okay. Just a second, I need to share my screen first. Hmm, yes, so okay, just a second. I need to share my screen first so that I can move forward. Yeah, cool. Thanks. So yeah, so this is my GitHub profile, and if you have an account on GitHub, you probably would be having this profile, this kind of similar profile. So if you don't know about GitHub, let me just give you a brief about GitHub. So GitHub is a open source platform, I would say a social platform. Like it's more kind of a social platform these days. So in which you can host or like showcase your projects, your knowledge about the technical stuff. It can be anything related to web development, DS algos, or anything related to like even something else. So this is my profile. Like you can see, I have written a bunch of stuff about me, like what things I do. Just a second. Like what all things I do, what all things I am working on. Along with that, there's a stats thing. Okay, and after that, I have some repositories that I work on or like I contribute to, and then there's my GitHub contribution sheet. So this is basically my work throughout the year, which I've been doing in the year. Okay. So like this GitHub profile is like quite important these days. As I said, that this is more sort of a social platform these days. So if you want to like grab an internship or grab a job, uh, I know that DS algos and the development skills are important, but at the same time, this your GitHub profile is equally important. So if you want to like get into an internship, and like let's say there's about 100 applicants, so they would probably check out your GitHub profile. And if you have a very well maintained GitHub profile in which you have a lot of open source projects in which people can actually go out and check out your code, so it will be quite helpful, not for just not just for yourself, for whoever is actually taking a look at your profile. So your GitHub profile or your social presence on the GitHub should be good enough so that people can actually see your code or see your work, and they can try and collaborate with you. They can ask you for internships. They can ask you for different sort of work. Okay, so let's try to like get to know about Git a bit more, and let's say let's push a code simple readme file to the GitHub. Okay, would that be good, or should we skip that part? Like all of you know that how to push and file it to the GitHub. Just say yes or no, like whether we should do this GitHub stuff or we should avoid that stuff. Or if you have any questions, you can just ask me on the chat if you want. Okay, so Abhishek is saying that I should avoid the readme. So, like, is there anyone in the session that would like that would like me to get through the basic command of get and get up? Okay. So let me just make an simple GitHub repo and let's try to push that repo. And after that, we can talk about some more thing on the of the GitHub. Okay. So so first of all, if you want to push any of your work to the GitHub, you need to have a GitHub account. You can make that a GitHub account. It's quite simple. You have to just use your email ID, and like that is pretty basic stuff. I'm assuming that all of you know how to make an account. So you should be able to make an account. And if you're in a school or in a college right now, you can get an GitHub student pack, and like it gives you a lot of different stuff that like if you are not in a school, you have to pay for that stuff. But if you're in a school or in a college, you can get that stuff for free. So like everyone should get that GitHub education pack. Okay. So like if you talk about the GitHub work or the project that you that you work on, that is known as repositories, or you can say that folders. Like it this they are different folders that one can have, and these folders might be these folders might contain subfolder as well. So you need to push a new folder to the GitHub. Okay. So how do you do that? So first of all, let's go to this new thing, new button here. Okay. So press the new button and let's say what's the name? Uh, mm, script uh, script GitHub 101. Okay. So let's name this as script GitHub 101, and let's avoid the description as of now, and let's make it public. So public and private means, so you can either have your code base public, or you can have either have your code base private. So public basically means this anyone can see your code, anyone can see what you're doing on a daily basis, but they cannot like change anything into a code base. But in the in the private repository, they cannot see your code base, and either they can change the code base. Okay. But if you want to like change your code base, you can do that. Like if you want to collaborate with other people, you can do that stuff too. But let's start with this thing only. So we have a public thing, and let's create a repository now. Okay, so let's talk about these statements in a while. So first, let's talk about one thing. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about one thing that is like what is actually Git? How does Git work, and why do you need Git in the first place? So if you're in college even in a school, you might have used something called Google Docs. So Google Docs is basically a platform in which you can write your document. You can write your docs or documents and share your document with other people. That people can actually take a look at your code or document. They can even give some suggestions, and they can even like change your doc if they want to. And like if you know like you if you make any change to the Google Docs, there is a separate version of that doc that resides inside the Google Docs. So you can basically have different like at whatever time you change anything, this that change is saved at a different point. Like if you want to, let's say you made a document today, and let's say your friend your friend made some change to the document later at tonight. So if you want to go back, like if you want to go back to the original document that you did originally, you can basically go through that quite easily on the Google Docs. And that is because they do have different version of the document. They have different version of the document, and therefore we call something called as version control system. So we basically have different versions of the changes that you want to that you want to have, and you can basically go through you can go back and forth between these changes, so that if you ever lose your work, you can just go back to there. And also your work all of your work is pushed, or there's a common place in which your code has been saved, like Google Docs. Like even if your laptop gets crashed, or like your laptop gets formatted, so even if after that you would be able to get the code from the online, that is stored someplace safe, and you don't have to worry about your code anytime. You have to basically like get the code from the GitHub, and that's it. Your code is intact and ready to use from the point that you that you started with. Okay, so that is basic basis of Git and GitHub. So there is much more than that. Like you that is a very basic of the Git usage, but you can do a lot of different things as well. So can you tell me what else you can do with the Git or the GitHub? Like what makes it special about the Git? Okay, so there's no issue. So let me just give you about like what else you can do with GitHub. So there's one thing, you can obviously push your code to the GitHub. You can like have different version of the GitHub of the code you have. But other than that, you can basically collaborate with other people. You can have sandboxing. Like sandboxing is basically you can make some changes to an entirely different platform, and that wouldn't affect your actual code base. So if you have, we can work on a team. Yeah. So that is correct, Abhishek. You can work on a team you can work in a team. You can have different branches. Branches basically mean you can have parallel. Like if you want to be if you're into sci-fi, so I would say like you can have parallel universe. So if you make any change to the let's say universe X, that change would not be reflected back to your own universe. So you can have parallel universe, something similar to the concept of the mirror world that we have in the Doctor Strange, if you have watched that. But anyway, so you can do some stuff like that. So yeah, so that is pretty much it about the Git, the version control system. So now let's try to push a simple thing to the GitHub by using these simple commands that we have. Okay, so okay, so we do have quite simple commands. So let's do one thing. Let's open up our command line or terminal tool, whatever you have. In Windows, it should be CMD. For Mac, it is terminal. Okay. 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 So no. So Alexi, is the Git and GitHub are entirely different? No, they are not different. Like Git is a version of the system, and GitHub is a platform on which Git you can utilize Git. Okay, they are like I wouldn't say they are entirely different. Like Git is the basic of GitHub. You have different versions different along with GitHub. You have different things, like you have Bitbucket, you have GitLab. So all of them works with the same thing, that is Git, but they are different platforms. So you can think of it like Facebook, or like not Facebook. I would say Gmail, Outlook, Hotmail. So all of them are like different email providers, but they work on the same principle, that is SMTP, or like Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP. Okay. So yeah, so that is one thing. So Git is basically basis of GitHub. Okay. GitHub is a platform. Okay. Uh, Okay, so now we have to do like make a new folder and push some files there. So let's do one thing. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's create a new folder. So mtpdr. Uh, uh, okay, so okay, so we have nothing here. So let's do one thing. Let's make a new file here. So you can do a lot of different stuff if you want to make a new file. So I would be basically calling touch. Okay, so I've created a new file. So now let's open that file. Okay, so let's open that file normally. Okay, so let's open up the file. Mm, let's open Sublime. Okay, so now let's try to write something in the file. So let's say hello GitHub. This is my first commit. Okay, and let's save the file and close this. Okay, so we have this file now in the folder. We have written something inside this file. Now we want to like sync this file to the GitHub. So how do we do that? So that is quite simple. So first of all, you have to install the GitHub CLI tool into your system. So you can basically get that tool from anywhere. So just search for GitHub CLI, and you can get that thing from here. Just install the just install the tool, and yeah. So after that, when you do this thing, you should be able to write a command called git in your system. That is in your terminal, on your GitHub, or your command line, anything that can be that you are using. So just say git init. That is git initialize. Okay, when you do that, you will be getting this kind of statement, that is initialize the empty git repository. Okay, so now let's say git status. So if you can see, this is we have no commit yet. We on the branch master, and then we have some untracked files. So what do you mean by untracked file there? So untracked files are basically the files which are not being tracked, or like getting synced to the server or to the GitHub. So now if you want to sync the file, you can simply write git add name of the file. Okay, readme.md. And now let's try to use the command git status again. Okay, so now you can see this file is now changes are to be committed. So what do we mean committed? Committed is basically one commit is equivalent to one change that you want to save as a different in different time, like different point. So you can have multiple changes inside single commit. You can have one change inside a single commit. So you can have different things inside a single commit. So single commit is basically a single point at which you want to save the history that saved all the things which were done till this point. Okay, that is called a commit. So once you do this thing, now you have to call a very simple command called git commit -m and then the message. So first commit. So git commit -m means git commit this commit whatever we have right now. Then -m is basically a shortcut for message, and then in double quotes you have to write your message. That is the identifier by which you can identify like this was your first commit in which you did something X valid. Okay, so do this thing, and then you should be able to see this thing. Now let's write something called. Now you have to like follow these two commands here. That is this thing. So first of all, let's try to understand this command. Okay, so even like let's just use this command first. Okay, so what do you mean by this command? So git remote add origin, and along with that we have a URL. So basically in this request, what we are doing is like mapping our local files to this repository that we created. Like right now we haven't made any mapping or any sync between these two. So that how can they understand like where do we have to push or save the data? So in order to save any data, you have to use this address or use this command to sync the data. Like you have to push the data here. And also this, like if you want to push some data to this repo or this project, you have should have the access to project to push the data to this repo. Since because this is my own project, I can push the data. But if you try to add like if you try to push in data to this project, you won't be able to do it. Okay, so make sure that you're doing on this on your project. Then after that, you have to write a simple command get push. Then just follow this command. Okay, all right. Just follow this command and that's it. Once you do this thing, just refresh your data repo page, and yeah, you're good to go. Okay, so like this is how you can basically push your very first file to the GitHub. So do you have any questions regarding this thing? Does anyone have any questions regarding this particular thing? Just say no if you don't have any questions. I'll move forward with the next thing. Okay, cool. So now let's move forward onto the next thing. So what do we have next? Okay, so since you have seen this thing, now let's talk about one of the most what language do you? Oh, so Git is not a language. I would say this is a command. Like you have to use basic commands. That's it. Okay, so like I won't say Git is a language. So you have to use basic commands that are like simple English commands. I would say that's it. You should be able to know about how to run terminal commands. That's it. Okay. So yeah. So next we were talking about the most this whole point of having this workshop or this webinar in the month of October. Because in the month of October we have a very special thing that is called Hacktoberfest. So what is Hacktoberfest? So Hacktoberfest is basically a month in which you can this month there's an event called Hacktoberfest, which is organized by Digital Ocean. There's a service based company which that is similar to AWS. If you have heard of the term of AWS, that is Amazon Web Services. So that is similar. We have a company called Digital Ocean, and so this along with this company we do have something called an event called Hacktoberfest, in which they promote open source community, or they basically they want to promote open source more and more, and for that they have certain I would say certain prizes or certain things which can actually if you complete some simple task, you should be able to get that thing quite easily. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So this is a website of Hacktoberfest. So yeah, so if you support open source and pick a limited edition t-shirt or plant a tree, plant a tree. So if you do open source what is all about Hacktoberfest. So in Hacktoberfest you have to make 4 pull requests. So if you don't know about what is a pull request, let me just give you a clear idea about pull request. What is a pull request? So pull request is basically some change, some addition to the code, or select some suggestion, some modification. It can be anything to someone else code which you have suggested in open source. Let's say you go to Google and let's say you see their Google application and see you say that this is something wrongly done. You can fix that thing by doing this thing. And let's say you have the knowledge of doing that stuff, so you can do the same stuff on your own, and you can basically send that updated code snippet to the Google, and they can accept the code. So this way you can basically have the work get the work done for the Google for free, and like you can actually say you have contributed to Google open source or like Google code base. So although this won't be like that much straightforward. So like similarly you have different organization in which you can contribute to. So you have to just go to you have to go to their organization. You have to do a pretty work. Like it can be anything very simple. It can be something simple like adding some tests, unit tests. You might have heard of the term unit test. It can be something simple like changing some documentation, or it can be something like you have to add something, a simple functionality to a button, to a text. Anything can be like, it could be quite simple. So like you have to just you have to get started with open source. And for getting started with open source, they are quite good first issue on which you can work on. So you can just go to github.com, and let's say right now I'm a contributor at Coding Blocks, and the organization called Opia. So I do take a look at all of these projects. So let's say I want to go to Opia project. So let's go to Opia, and specifically Opia Android. So if you go to the issues, like there's a page of Opia Android repository, and then there's a issues page. So if you see here, so there are a bunch of issues that you can work with. So like if you see here, this like you have to optimize this code. So this might be some simple issue that you have to work with. It can be like quite simple. You have to just use some simple changes of Android. Like if you know about Android, we can just start with that. And even if you don't know about Android, you can just read about it. Things would be quite simple and quite straightforward, and you should be able to contribute to the project. So you have to just go to the project, make a pull request, and then if everything is good enough, your code will be get merged. And if the code is not good enough, people who would be like people like me, people like other member of the team would be there to help you, guide you, and they would be helping you to get the correct code, so that you are able to learn something, as well as the codes get corrected by you. Okay, so you can do stuff like that. And like if you do like four of these stuff, then you can basically request a t-shirt on the Hacktober platform. Okay, so I think they should be here. Okay, so you should be able to see your like right now I've made two pull requests now. So let me just open this thing. Okay, now yeah. So as you can see now, right now I've made two pull requests. So like all of them are like two of them are in the process of getting mature or something, like they have been trying to just survive this thing. Okay, so how to contribute to on projects? Okay, so I'll get back to that in a minute. So you have to like basically make four of them, and then you would be getting a T-shirt and some stickers, and that is a very good thing to get started with open source. And once you start with open source, there is no going back. You can always find new projects, find new people, and you can like contribute to a lot of different projects. Okay. So once you have a question here, so how to contribute to project? So first of all, if you want to contribute to any project, you have to learn some sort of development. So it can be anything. It can be something related to Flutter. It can be something related to iOS, Android, web backend. Even there are some repositories for DS algos as well. But like most of the profile or most of the repos or most of the projects that you would be finding would be for development. So you have to start with any sort of development that you can work with. It can be anything, like start with very basic thing. Like Flutter is quite on the boom these days. you can learn, you can start learning Flutter. So it's quite easy. You can really easily get the grasp of Flutter. Like I've been learning Flutter by myself. Like I've been doing Flutter for like 2 months now, and things are quite easy. So you should be able to get that, like learn that Flutter in a quite small span. And once you do that thing, you can like find projects on Flutter. So let's try to find some projects on which you can contribute to on Flutter. Okay. So let's say, okay, Flutter. Okay, never mind. Okay, so let's do one thing. No, so let's select the Dart language first. Then you can select the issues here. Okay. Then you can then you can select the open issues. And I think there should be an option to have the tag as well. Okay, so you can see there are a lot of bunch of different stuff that is there. Like there are about 100 issues which you can work with. Okay, so you can basically start going to any project. Just try to understand the issue. If you're not able to understand the issue, you can just ping that, or like have some question and give me a better idea about the issue, and then you can start working on that. Okay. So Sushil is asking me like what are skills needed for web development. So that, like if you're talking about web development, that is very vast. So you can either work on like you can work with Node.js, you can work with Python, you can work with Ruby Ruby on Rails, you can work on PHP. What else? So there are bunch of different stuff. So like you have to, like if you want to get started with web development, I would suggest you to get learning about basic HTML CSS first, then Node.js, because Node, like JS, is something you would be requiring anywhere, wherever you go, you would be requiring JavaScript. So you can learn with that. Then like if you're comfortable with JavaScript, you can continue using Node.js, or you can continue using Python if you want to. And like that depends upon you, like how you want to pursue this career of the development. So like you should be like if you want to get very basics, that is the first thing. So that is HTML, CSS, and the JavaScript. Okay, so that is the thing you want to learn. Okay, okay. So okay, so do you have any other questions regarding this thing? So do you have any, like anyone have any questions regarding this thing, or should we move forward with the webinar? Sushil, in a way, yes, you can, but I would say, like if you want to start contributing, I would suggest you to like learn a bit basics on your own, because like things are very fast. Like if you like start with the things like starting with an issue or a project, you might be like you might not understand the things, or like you might not understand how things are laid out. So I would suggest you to try it out for a week on your own, then try to look for issues. If you directly go to start looking for issues, you might be like you might not be very familiar, or you might even get demotivated. So in order not to if you want not to happen that, so you can just simply do one thing, like just try out any videos on YouTube. Like there are a bunch of different videos that you can watch. Like get started with HTML, get started with basic CSS, and like that is very basic thing. You can start learning that, and like if you want to, if you want to really want learn something, you can even start Flutter. Like Flutter is, to be honest, Flutter is quite precise. You have to start learning Flutter, and Flutter, like that language is quite easy, and like you there's like that is very concise. Like you don't have to learn a lot of different things. Like if you want to talk about web, you have to learn lot of different things, but for Flutter things are quite easy. So like you can start with Flutter even. Like if you are not, like if you haven't started with anything, you can start with Flutter if you want to. Okay, so what next? So what do we talk about next? Okay, so how many of you like interested in GSOC, like Google Summer of Code? How many of you do know about Google Summer of Code, or like have an idea about how it works, why does it exist, or like you are interested in getting getting be a part of the GSOC? How many of you are interested in that? Okay. Okay, Sushil. So, like, do you know about what is GSOC? How does it work? Or like, how does it works? Or like, do you have any idea about like how, like, what is GSOC? Like, why do you want to get into GSOC? Do not tell me that that is because it is Google. No, just tell me why do you want to get into GSOC? Applied last year, this year too. Okay, great, Rachit. On which development you are, like which framework or like which thing are you working on? Cool. So yeah, so GSOC is a platform, or a program, not a platform, sorry. So GSOC is a program that is driven by Google. So then we get GSOC certificate. Okay, yeah, definitely get the GSOC certificate. I have gotten that too, but I haven't checked it out as of now. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so like if you want to get into GSOC, that would require if you really want to get into GSOC, that would require a bit more of the learnings that you may have in your domain. So it can be Android or web or Flutter, or like not just these three. You have much more than that. But web is the major part of which you have the open source community working with. So if you want to work with that, you have to you have to work with that particular framework or particular technology. It tells about consistency. No, it doesn't. No, GitHub is not about that. Telling about consistency or dedication is not about that. Is more about working with the team, working with the open source community, how to get things done in a team, in a big company, how they drive things, and a bunch of different stuff. It's not about the consistency or dedication. you can basically like you don't have to spend a lot of hours every day. Like you don't have to read about different things. Like things are not like that. So it's not about dedication or consistency. It's more about working with the team. How do you write open source code? How do you write code that that would affect a lot of users? Or like how do you write code which can other developers to understand? Okay, so this is more about that. Okay, so yeah, so I was saying, so if you want to get into GSOC, so like you have to like spend 5 to 6 months, or I would say an year to that particular framework or the technology. It can be anything. So after you do that, you are quite familiar with that technology. You should be able to do that thing. Okay. Uh, yeah, Nega, you might not be like Sushil, but might be a noob, but like there is nothing to do say about that. Like when I started with my open source journey, I was a noob as well. So I didn't know about anything about Git or GitHub, or I didn't know anything about about the open community. I started with like him only. So like there is no bad in that. Okay. So yeah, so I was saying, if you want to get into GSOC, you have to like master any framework. Or, like I would say not master, but you have to learn a bit of different stuff, and you should be aware of different technologies that are out there, so that you are quite familiar with the things. Once you do this thing, you can basically go to GSOC website, and you can take a look at the different projects that are there. You can basically search for things. Let's say Android, and then say last year. So you can see there are a bunch of different applications there which you can work with, like OpenMRS or Agora Android application, Me for the Android SDK. There are a bunch of different applications that you can work with. You have to just take a look at them and like try to understand this thing. Okay, so let's say I want to work with OpenMRS. So let's open this thing, and you can basically go to this thing and open up. Okay, so you can see like there's a very good Medium article about this. You can like read about this, how things did go with this person. Like similarly, I do have something like that. So let me just open up this thing. Oh, I do have my own gift as well. Yeah. Hmm. So you can see this is my own gift, which I created for the GitHub final thing. So whatever I did in this 3 months, that is there. So you can see the things that I created inside these 3 months. All of them are written there. Like all of the pull requests that I made, all of the things that I did. So you have to basically work with the organization. You have to select a project. Most of the projects have like strict things, like what all things would be doing, and what all things you should be aware of. And like you can start looking for the organization on in the month of February, and then you can basically start contributing to that project by making simple pull requests, simple like by fixing simple issues. And once you do that, you have to write a proposal. So the proposal is the key thing here. Like proposal is the very important thing when you're working with the GSOC. So let me just showcase my proposal. Okay, so I do have. So this is the GSOC proposal that I have, that I created for the OPA this year. So you can see like I have written a bunch of different stuff, like why I'm interested in this organization, and what experience do I have. Then all the details that I would be doing in this project. It might be different for you. Like this thing is different for every project, or like I would say different for every organization. But like if you do a bunch of different things like that, if you write something about your project, about your self, and about the things that you will be doing, that should be good enough for any proposal that you do. Like one of the key things about this proposal or any proposal is that like first thing should be like why are you interested in the project. Second thing about your prior experience, like if you are working with the React, so let's say you are working with React, so you should be able to, yeah, Rajat, I'll share this link in the chat. Okay. So if you take a look at my proposal, you can see I have written things that I have been using in the project and that I know of. Okay. So similarly, if you are working like with Flutter, you can write about Flutter, like which all things that you have used in Flutter, or like if you're working with the web backend, so you can write down which all things you have worked with, and you can obviously link down some of the pull requests or some of the work that you have created in the proposal. And along with that, there's one more thing that is very important. That is the detailed detailed timetable. Yeah. So like this timetable is really important here. So you should have this timetable sort of thing in your proposal, like in which you are giving the exact details about like in which week you'll be doing what, and like how things are laid out for the 3 months. So that is the really important part of the GSOC proposal. So if you are doing like if you are have made a good proposal and you have made a good like milestone breakdown, you should be able to crack the GSOC quite easily. Like this is the key thing here. Like if you do this thing correctly, there's nothing wrong. There's like if you are sort of correct, would be selected for the GSOC proposal. And obviously, if you see, take a look at this thing. Like without like before actually submitting my proposal, I did ask my mentors or the org admins to review my proposal, like what all things should I do here, what all things should I improvise in the proposal. And you can see there are a bunch of comments that are there. So you can always ask mentors for the help, or you can ask mentors for this thing. Okay, well, let me just share the link here. Okay. Okay, so I've shared the proposal link in the chat. The team should be able to give you. So yeah, so this is the key thing to learning the proposal. Okay. So yeah, so that is pretty much it about the GSOC. And like if you get into GSOC, you get a certificate, you get a stipend, and there's a bunch of different stuff as well. But yeah, overall things are like really good, and you get to know about a lot of different people, and you get to understand a lot of different things as well. So yeah, I guess that is pretty much it about the GSOC or the GSOC journey, like how you can get selected to GSOC. Okay. So is there anything else you want to understand or like you want to ask me? Like, let me just share my profile if you want to. So, if you have any doubts regarding anything, you can always reach out to me on my email address that is pulkit.agarwal@codingblocks.com. Or you can even reach out to me on LinkedIn or anything that you want that you feel like. And yeah, so feel free to reach out to me, ask me anything about GSOC or Android or Flutter, anything you want to. Uh, I would be happy to help. I've been doing this thing for like 2 3 years now. So if you have any question, any queries, you can ask me right now if you want to, or you can just ping me whenever you have the queries in my LinkedIn or to my email address. I guess that's it about this session today. Okay, so Okay, so Sushil, I have a question: how to select a project? So, Sushil, if you want to select a project, that depends upon you, like on which, okay, on GitHub. Okay, so if you like, you can select any project that you feel like if you're talking about the Hacktoberfest only, just try to look for the project that have the Hacktoberfest label on it, and like just like if you want to about the framework, so that depends upon you, like by which issue or by which project you are familiar with, or which framework are you familiar with. And if you find a project that might have something related to your interest, you can contribute to that. Okay.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Pulkit sir, for taking time out and sharing your knowledge with us. It was very helpful for all of us here, and it was pretty eye-opening, like how to prepare for GSOC and what should be the methodology to prepare. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot from the Script Foundation too, and we would definitely love to host you in future webinars.
Thank you. It was a pleasure, like joining the session, and yeah, I would definitely like to join again to give some more talks about some different stuff.
Sure, Bhaiya. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.